Mr. Mohammed Sharif would get appointed by President Joe Boakai as the acting managing director of the Liberia Electricity Corporation and ahead of a team of, I think, 2-3 others, including Thomas Gonkeon and Frederick. And they will now be in charge of the LEC and all the kinds of things. But he's here today. Let's hear from him firsthand. Mr. Sharif, I'd like to say good morning. It's good to have you on the show, and it's good to see you again after many, many, many years.
Yes. Thank you, Clarence, and thank you to everybody for receiving me this morning.
Yeah.
This is the Mohammed Sharif.
I know.
And I'm here.
Many
Thank you.
years.
Many years.
Where's SS?
SS is in a state. He's in Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah. So you see, it means that somebody who knew me back.
A long story.
Yeah, a long story.
But it's good to hear Mohammed. Talk to us. Tell us a little bit about you. Who is Mohammed Sharif?
Thank you, Clarence. Mohammed Sharif. I'm Mohammed M. Sharif. The M in the middle of my name is Moliba. I come from the Kwaduboni district, that is in Lofa County. We actually left Lofa, and I grew up in Nimba County, Yukepa, as you can attest to that. You and I were there together.
Yeah.
That's why you said many years.
Many years.
Yes. So
I still remember all those slippers.
Oh, yeah. Playing Mao in the sand and so forth. Yes. So, just to cut long story short, my background in terms of academic background, I read statistics and mathematics BSc. After that, I did Master of Art in Economic Policy and Management. Then I have 2 MBAs, one from Cornell in New York, another one from Queen's University in Canada. So, beginning 2006, I worked at the Ministry of Finance with Anthony Sai. I used to work there. I started first as senior economist, chief economist with Minister Gafuan, Amara Kone as the senior chief economist. Then from there, 2014, I took over the CLSG. Took the CLSG from concept when I was recruited in 2014, September, to build a 1,300 kilometer of high voltage transmission line from Ma in Cote d'Ivoire into Yekepa in Nimba County, coming to Botota in Bon County, from Botota to Bikana in Grand Bassa, from there to Montserrado, Mancoffey, from there all the way to Mano. We have a substation there into Sierra Leone and Guinea. 12 substations. The project worth 550 to 600 million. We worked it out. It started 2014, second term of Madam Sally. The financing was secured. All the soft side of the project, the treaty was signed in 2012 with the full president, Madam Sally being, I think she was the second person. Then after that financing agreement, signed, ratified by the legislature then. And if you can see 2017, the groundbreaking was done at the sideline of the ECOWAS summit at the RIA. So we started kicking the ball, rolling, started the implementation, and came the CDC government, physical implementation. We went 2021, we started to commission the projects from Liberia to Sierra Leone. So today we have the project fully commissioned, operational. It's been in operation since 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was the longest serving MD. 10 years, 8 months.
10 solid years.
10 solid years.
Based in Abidjan.
Based in Abidjan. Working across the region.
How were you recruited, by the way?
I was recruited competitively. I saw the advertisement in the newspapers, and I immediately took it. And I applied. And I was shortlisted, interviewed, road test. We were close to 50, more than 50 to 100 people. So,
wow. Now, you're Liberian, Mohammed, you know. Apply for such tough posts.
Yeah.
Did anybody doubt you? Did anybody in the region think, hey, it's a Liberian, can he make it? Is he going to perform?
Sometimes it is typical with projects of such magnitude, mega project like that. But from the onset, looking from the perspective of the donors, because I was working at the Ministry of Finance as a chief economist, I did work on so many other across government ministries and agencies, starting from the HIPAA completion point when Minister Gaffon was Minister of Finance. Then my office, the macro fiscal unit, was responsible for the reporting requirement on an IMF PRG reporting framework, poverty reduction growth facility. So we needed to work across government to really ensure that the government of Liberia meets all its obligation under the performance criteria as well as structural benchmark, where the internal audit, secretariat, agency, all those were established during those days. So coming with that background, working across the board, both in vertical relationship in terms of leadership and horizontal collaboration with all those things. When we got to the new position of the CLSG, it was strange. So we knew how to navigate the political, the cultural terrain to really move forward. Complexity among the donor community, you have the structural complexity, socio-economic complexity, and the emerging complexity that we call the Ebola, the COVID, all those things came, we needed to address those things. There were the issue of mitigating strategy, how you put them in place come into being. You put these strategies in place so that you either avoid the occurrence of the risk, or when the risk occurs, minimize the impact. That's the principle.
That's good.
Yeah.
I know we're coming home. We'll spend a lot of time on LEC. We'll talk about your vision. We'll talk about power tech and all these things.
No problem.
Give us a practical understanding of how this, in maybe 3-4 minutes, not to take more of the time on that, but the whole CLSG arrangement. I'm asking because sometimes we say, they put on take that current back. We pay. No, we not pay small money. They will give all that. How does it work? How the whole CLSG thing here?
Okay, the CLSG emanated from the ECOWAS master plan, energy master plan, the WAP, West African Power Pool. It was one of the 5 priority projects that was lifted to become number 1. Donor pool funding together to establish SPV, Special Purpose Vehicle, which is Transco CLSG. Transco means Transmission Company. CLSG, Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea. That's why you see the CLSG. So Transmission Company, Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, Sierra Leone. Special Purpose Vehicle, responsible to implement this project. And I was the head of that Transco CLSG. So I needed to recruit the entire team, the contractors, everybody. So the whole idea is to trade energy among and within the 4 countries. Also to connect beyond the MREU to the larger ECOWAS and even beyond, because Morocco is connected to Spain. So if you are connected to Morocco, so it means potentially if Liberia has got excess capacity in terms of power generation, you can trade as far as Spain. So that's how the interconnection works. So the line is the line from Ma in Cote d'Ivoire, as I indicated initially, all the way through Liberia, 535 kilometers in Liberia, 5 substations in Liberia, Sierra Leone 530 kilometers, then into Guinea. So the total length is about 1,300 kilometers, 12 substations.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you trade, and this is a double circuit equipped, 225 kilovolt. That's how it is. In Liberia, you have 66 kilovolt. You have 33. You have 22. That line is 225 kilovolt. So each circuit is 243 megawatts. One is equipped, so we have the capacity now to evacuate. When I say we, I'm speaking as if I'm staying in Transco.
Yeah.
Transco has unfortunately. I would say fortunately, I'm in LEC.
Okay.
So Transco has got that capacity to transmit 243 megawatts but we make it available for 200. 43 megawatts is for redundancy. So now the second cycle is also 243, but that is not equipped yet. You just need to include the conductor, put the conductor up, then it's complete to 486 megawatt capacity. Yeah. So what that means is that you can input power from Cote d'Ivoire into Liberia. You also import power from Liberia to Cote d'Ivoire if Liberia has got assets that they want to sell. The same way with Guinea, Sarah in the 4 countries, and even beyond the 4 countries.
Good thing is you are now home.
Yes, sir.
And we are about to talk about home.
Yes, sir.
But all the time you were heading the Transcorp project, I'm imagining, Mohammed, you're sitting way up there, coordinating 4 countries. You ever thought you would have come back home? Every time you sat, did you say, look, all this thing I'm doing, I will end up, I got to go back home?
Yeah, it's always been my dream and my passion to come back home to help. Because for every time I went out there and see other countries developed, it's not enough to just say, oh, look at the beautiful city. Look at this beautiful electricity. It doesn't go off. And you sitting there, you have the capability to help your country. Why can't you come back? I've come to help my country, not because I've come to say I want to earn money. I was earning good, not to boast, but I have come to really help Liberia, to contribute my own quota to Liberia.
If you didn't
love
do
of
that,
country.
If you
so
didn't do that, we'll even ask you.
Yes.
I have a friend of mine who is a client. All the football are playing, the only thing I pray for is to wear the Lone Star jersey. You know, but you're back home. Generally, how is the LEC at the moment? I know we'll talk about specific issues, but generally, how is the LEC?
Well, you tell me.
You let us know. You were sitting there.
You tell me how is LEC. If I'm to ask you just to sample, how do you see LEC nowadays?
I will keep mine for the last.
Okay, all right. I can tell you, LEC. Before coming to that, I just wanted to first use the opportunity to thank the president.
Okay.
President Joseph Newman Boakai, because it's the president that placed his confidence in me to come and serve my country. And also to thank the Minister of Energy, Minister William P. I just even met him before coming over. He's the sector minister. We do weekly briefing just to align with the national policy agenda. Whatever we do, we align it with the arrest agenda. And so to speak, we have got our vision aligned with this. And I also want to thank the board of directors. It's the board that recruited me and my team. And to also thank the team. I call the team the creme de la creme. Okay. The team at the LEC.
The creme de la creme.
And it will be surprising you to note 95 to 96% they are all Liberians. Hard working Liberians. And we call them the creme de la creme, the best of the best. So LEC now, they are willing to work. They are willing to move the extra mile and to stay the extra hours to work once the rightful leadership is provided to them. And we are there to provide that rightful leadership and effective leadership. And what that means is that you should be able to recalibrate, respond to changing circumstances, because the energy sector is such that any mistake, any delays in not making decision, taking decision in one day can be catastrophic, because the sector is so dynamic. Things can always change. Wow. If you were to request, say for instance you collaborated with donor partners to request or to ask for help to move certain things, and you delay a day or two, that can lead to 3, 4, 5 months of delays. So your ability to respond to that, to understand those changing circumstances and respond effectively, can make a big change.
I know. Okay, so now we'll go to specific issues now.
Yes, sir.
You've taken over. You are there, it depends on the community people. They will tell you what LEC is doing in the different communities. I care to know about your current strategic focus, intermediate strategy, in terms of stabilizing electricity in and around Monrovia that everybody's praying for all over the place. What is it?
Well, what we did first, we have preliminary insight as we took over.
Okay.
Preliminary insight from reports Last year we had a report by the World Bank. I read that report, and I'm working in the energy sector as well. With those preliminary insights, I have come with some leverage in terms of understanding certain things.
Yeah.
You don't need a rocket scientist to know that LEC was spending like 12, 15, let's say 8 to 12 hours load shedding. And what that means is that you have certain community off for 10 hours or 12 hours, while other communities are on for few hours. So that's what we call load shedding. How do you cut that down? That was my singular focus as I come over as acting MD. I have the philosophy. When you see the house on fire, what you do first, you off the fire before you can even think about what caused the fire. And that was what I did with my team. Of course, I didn't do it alone. I did it with the creme de la creme, those folks in LEC. When we took over, we immediately did some tour, asked some questions, sent out the message that we are all for results. If you really listen to some of those engagement clips, I always maintained, once you can deliver results, trust me, you have nothing to worry. My singular focus is I need to achieve my strategic objective, and that part of those strategic objectives clearly to off that fire. That was to reduce the load shedding. How do we do that? We had the short-term approach, medium and long-term. The short-term, quickly, we call them the low-hanging fruits. There is nothing you can do about it. You cannot generate the gap that was created as a result of the demand, the ongoing demands in Liberia when it comes to electricity and the available installed capacity that you have in Liberia. Coffee installed capacity is 8 megawatts, but one unit is down. It will take about 12 months to bring that unit back on board. So currently 66 megawatts. 66. Out of that 66 megawatt from the Coffee, we usually put 1 or 2 on for some hours, based on the fact that we are not in the full rainy season. I see people talk about, oh, the rain is here. What we see is flash. We don't see entirely full rain yet. So therefore, we put sometime 1 unit or 2 units on. If you do that, you have 36 megawatts. How do you fill the gap up to 100 megawatt peak hours? You have close to 50, 60 megawatts. And the bush row, you have the bush row, the World Bank plant is done. It's under repair, so it will take almost a year to complete. You have the Japanese unit, which is about 2 unit that is about 10 megawatts, but when it comes into operation, it's 8 megawatts. The GOL unit, 9 megawatts, 18 megawatts. But one is down. We are currently repairing that. It will take about 3 to 4 months. Once it's in operation, it's about 7.5 megawatts. You are 7.5 and 8. That's 15.5 megawatts. Add that to 36, about 50 something to 51 or 52 megawatts. So how do you fill the other gap? You got to leverage regional network, and there where we have come in with that regional connection, the trust. So when I say off in a fire, how can we leverage the regional connection? Talk to them, take the telephone, call the CRE folks in Cote d'Ivoire, tell them to supply. So they've been doing extremely well. We've been taking up to 40, 45, 50 from Cote d'Ivoire. Do you know Guinea hasn't come yet?
Wow.
I see on Facebook people say, oh, Guinea has not started. I just received the PPA today to sign today. Today, I will be signing this PPA with Guinea. Once we sign, hopefully over the weekend, Guinea should start supplying. The reason why Guinea hasn't come, between Mano and Bowatersa, there is this 66 kVA, the Sierra Leone they are connecting for their rural electrification and their medium voltage. We needed to wait until they could complete before we start bringing in Guinea the 30 megawatts.
What's coming from Guinea? 30. To add on to what we have. So when the 30 come from Guinea to add on to, what do we have at the moment?
What we have, we are currently on peak, going zero loading, zero load shedding.
No, I mean, what do we have that we are currently operating on?
We have close to 100 megawatts.
Close to 100.
Yeah.
So when 30 come from Guinea, we'll be boasting about 130.
130, and we'll shut down the bushrow plant to save, because the bushrow we're using fuel, which is expensive. As we bring Guinea, strategically it will be in our interest to shut the bushrow down.
So you say Guinea is coming over the next 2 weeks?
Yes, Guinea will be coming. As Guinea comes in, we will be shutting down bushrow to reserve our fuel, to have zero load shedding, electricity constant. As you see, it is constant. The past 2 weeks is being really constant.
Now, Mohammed, this is interesting. 30 coming from Guinea, we currently have 100, will be 130. Because you see, when you make us to start getting used to it, we just want to see it going up. We don't want to see it coming down.
Let me tell you first, as Liberia as a country, we have 2 units at the Man Coffee we bring up in a day. Sorry, in a night. We'll put it off in a day to allow the water to come up a little bit. So in a night we'll put it on for the peak. That's 36. Then we have about 40, 45, 50 coming from Cote d'Ivoire. You add that to 36, that's 86,
yeah,
right?
86.
If it is 50. The bigger watts, the power coming from Cote d'Ivoire, it can fluctuate between 40, sometimes 36, 40, 45, 50, but mostly around 45 to 50. So we take the average 45 plus 35 is about close to 80. You understand? Now, the bushrow, you add a 50, say 90 to 95 currently, if we add Cote d'Ivoire, and what we optimizing domestically will come around at 95.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm concerned, like I was saying. You know, we don't even envisage shading again. We just want it to be going on.
It's possible we can do shading. I want to be very clear. So that you won't quote me that there will be no load. In the energy sector, as I say, it is dynamic. The power that is coming, you pay for it.
Yeah.
You got to pay.
You got to pay.
If you over there, you enjoying your electricity, putting your AC on, your everything on, you bypassing a meter, you are not buying tokens, you are not vending.
We will come there. We will come there.
And
because that's the
caveat I want to establish, Clarence.
We're coming there, Mohammed. That's the basis, Mr. MD. We're coming right there. I was just talking about, I was about to ask you for, your as part of your vision in the context of sustainability and affordability.
I've not even come to my vision.
Yeah.
I was just explaining to you what we
Let's come to your vision now.
Thank you.
I think it's important.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Clarence. And my vision is aligned actually with the president's vision.
Yeah.
When I met the president, his vision is, in 5 years' time, there is no reason why. Because my vision is, in the next 5 years, everyone, each and every business, Liberian, should have access to reliable, affordable, quality, and sustainable electricity over there. And that's the vision we carry across the board, from our sector and beyond our sector. And I've asked my team to really come along with me to help the president achieve this vision. And I said, before achieving this vision, we got to clear the low-hanging fruits from around. You see right here, we just developed our action plan, 90-day action plan, which I will be sharing with you guys. This is it. This is the 90-day action plan.
Your 90-day action plan?
Yes. In this 90-day action plan, you will see from April 1 to June 30, including what is happening now, load shedding, reducing, how we develop our strategy, everything is in here. So the vision is 5 years from now, everybody will, the issue of saying, oh, load shedding here and there will be of the past, except if you don't have money to buy your token, to buy your electricity. But we can only achieve that vision if we do it collectively. We need the support for you, the public. We need the support from internal within LEC. We need the support from the government wide, ministry and agency. We need the support from the president, and the president is aware of that. That's why the strategic guidance has been provided by the Ministry of Energy, Mines and Energy. The board is providing its own strategic guidance, and the president office is providing his support. And this is why you see the electricity. People are now saying that we should take it back. We are not taking it back. It is here to stay, and you got to start thinking about how you will get money to pay for your bill. And at the end of the day, by the time we reach that vision, you will see as you increase the volume, and the input into the volume, producing that volume becomes cheaper as we move on. like what we intend to do as we explain going forward, some of the things we're doing to optimize our domestic generation, the price will come down.
Yeah.
I know people will be talking about the price and tariff and things.
So let's stretch your vision a little bit. And that was where my concern was coming in. Domestic generation.
Yeah.
As part of your vision, are we talking about domestic generation or to tighten our scope so that we'll continue to get power from these different countries but sustainable in the 5 years?
No. As I indicated from the beginning, I said the first bucket was to tackle the low-hanging fruits. The second bucket, what should we do to optimize domestic generation? What should we do to the entire value chain? Generation, transmission, distribution, and commercial. So on the generation side, what are we doing to optimize our domestic generation? If you were hearing the last week or so, there was Genzel Energy, the combined cycle gas power plant that's supposed to be 270 megawatts.
Okay.
First time in the history of Liberia that you're going to have base load guaranteed. What that means is that your base load, you don't have to think about input or whatever the case may be. That will be guaranteed all year round. No rainy season, no dry season. It will be built in Buchanan there. And in addition to that, people that will be working for the power plant, they will be trained here. A technical college will be built. Then when you get sick, you need to also go into hospital. That hospital will also be here. So on the generation front, that's 270 megawatts. We are in the stage where we're discussing a power purchase agreement. The president has endorsed it. As we're moving aggressively, the clock has started ticking. So we're thinking about very soon the groundbreaking will be carrying out the groundbreaking. That's 270. Then the second one, domestic generation, we talk about the solar power plant, working collaborating with our development
Before
partners.
we move that, the one in Buchanan is whose project? It's a government and partners project?
Yeah, it's a PPP, private partnership.
Okay.
Yeah. They are private sector coming to balance from their balance sheet to pay for it through their balance sheet.
How long would that be?
15 months to 18 months. And the clock has
It will
started.
be completed?
The first phase will be 140 megawatts. That is enough to cover our base load.
You mean it will be completed in 15 months?
15 months to have the first 140 megawatts.
Are you serious?
A modular. That's what I'm telling you. If you observe, we don't come too much on Facebook and things. We allow our results to speak for themselves.
Okay,
So,
let's go. You are about to talk about something.
yes, I was telling you the solar, working with our development partners, the World Bank, IFC, and African Development Bank, EIB, EU, all of them. We start first the Mount Coffee. Extension of the Mount Coffee by 40 megawatts. We are extending Mount Coffee from the current 88 to 128 megawatts. That's one. Two, we are building solar plant. They call it the Raspberry project. Now on the Mount Coffee site, that will be available this year, October. If you saw earlier last month, I went on the site, met with the contractors, telling them it is not negotiable to shift the goalpost. That is the completion deadline. What is it that you need for us to do? Tell us so that we can help
Play
you,
our
support
role.
you. Yeah, because that's my principle in leadership. I give you the autonomy to work, support, tools, but I hold you accountable for results.
That's okay.
Yes.
That's okay.
So they promised that by October this year, that will be made available. That's the solar, 20 megawatts. But then that is not enough. During the spring meeting, when I went with Minister Gafuan, Minister, after inviting us to join him to go, in our meeting, we made a case that it is not enough to have the solar power available in a day. What's about in the night? So can they include battery? The World Bank has agreed for the Minister of Finance to request the inclusion of the battery. What that means, the minister will have to request for reallocation of funds, which the minister agreed to do so, to reallocate the fund so that that battery can be made available. Come October, next dry season, that can help to reduce the dry season gap. So that is part of the domestic optimization of the generation.
The generation.
Yeah. Then in the pipeline, we are receiving some proposals here and there talking about the other one opposite the Shuffling Barracks, 60 megawatts from the IFC. We are in the process of concluding the leasing agreement, 60 megawatts, which technically is 20 megawatts based on the technology that has got battery, which is modular. You can add as we proceed. The IFC has provision, the guarantee that can allow the investor to add as the need arises, additional megawatts to the 20 megawatts. So when you add all those, you see our domestic generation may even not allow us to go to import. This is what we are doing in terms of achieving our vision to be independent, while at the same time leveraging our regional ally to see how best we can import. But for this year, we have no other option but to rely on import in the short term to solve our current RACC gap, which includes,
Wow, I see that you're striving to do a lot, and it seems a lot is on your shoulders.
Yes.
The country is looking up to you and team to perform, to do a lot. Now, how are payments done, especially with the whole CLSG arrangement? How are payments done? Then we'll come now to power theft to see what you can do to stop it, because I don't know, but tell us first, how are payments done?
Yeah, I agree. And that is a key point, the payment of the bills.
Yeah.
You got to really think about it. They are not for free. You will see that other countries, they are not getting what we are getting currently from Cote d'Ivoire. I can say that because I'm privy to some.
You were there.
I was there.
You sat
some of
in
them
those
received
seats.
5 to 10 megawatts, but we receive about 45, 50, 55 tools. Even last week we received up to 60 megawatts without any upfront payment. That is based on trust over the years. Based on trust, and we are paying just yesterday, as I speak to you, today is the 5th, right?
Yeah.
On the 2nd, an instruction was released to release 4.5 million to Cote d'Ivoire for the payment of the power coming from there. And another 500,000 was sent to Transco CLSG to pay for the transmission of the power. And that's coming from LEC own revenue.
LEC own revenue.
LEC revenue. Just LEC revenue. And this is where, as I indicated from the beginning, we need to pay our bills. We need to think about all the enjoyment we are seeing. We've off the fire for now. You see how enjoyable it can be when you leave home. You come, you are not sleeping in the heat. You have your AC on. Just need to think about it. If you can pay, we will go back to where we were, and we have a way of tracking you. That's the good news for us. Bad news for those that
You have a way now of tracking.
we are identifying ways in which collaborating across government, the Ministry of Post and Telecommunication, they just launched new system, GIS system, where you lock through the GIS system. If I'm to register you, say in Gardnersville, Clarence House, I go and stand with my meter, lock your coordinates, register that to your meter, and we have our dashboard at LEC. We know we can identify you, locate you, trace you, whether you have a meter, you have your number uniquely identified to you, but if you are not vending, we know something wrong somewhere. You are using the power, but you are not using token. We know straight as power theft. We can track you and knock you down. How we do it? That's a trade secret. I can say that.
So let that come right there. I'm concerned about power theft and advancing metering strategy. Too many people want the current. The power theft issue is a whole different thing altogether. People say, oh, you even meter set. You go to LEC right now, 6 more, 9 more, your meter can come. Other people right now using the current won't pay, the meter not coming. Let's talk about metering under your administration and this whole issue of power theft. The thing is giving people hard time. In some of the communities, the people who are stealing the current are the people who enjoy it best or most. What do you do?
Okay, for the issue of the metering, yes, through our assessment, we've identified actually that there are meters You will have a two-front. You have the engagement from our partners. They go into communities where they say the poorest of the poor, where they will say, okay, project-related areas. Then what we do as LEC, even though the projects work on us, so we identify the turnaround time taking too long. It's true. Taking long days, sometimes in some instances months. If your neighbor has got electricity and you don't have, what do you think you would do? Sometimes people say, okay, you know what, let me do the other way around. I don't want to.
Which is not good.
Which is not good. What we have done, we call a project called Untold, mass metering. We identify you are not connected, you bypass him. We started that last week. We've started that process. If you are noticing, people are receiving telephone calls to tell you, okay, you applied for meter before. We have your meter. We are coming to your house to connect you. If we happen to come to you, you are connected, but you are not friendly, you don't have meter, we install meter immediately, we lock you in, we'll coordinate everything. We have entire team. That's a project going. We'll have about 40 to 50,000 meters now. They started with that.
In country?
Yes. Going on that particular aspect, connecting people like that. We're doing that. That's one thing. Two, then the issue of advanced metering, smart metering. Yes, we are talking with so many vendors. We will have a competitive process to sort of achieve value for money, to see how best we can look at different technology. But first, we need to have our digital strategy, which we are currently developing. Our digital strategy will allow us to identify bottlenecks. It pinpoints the areas of intervention as to what technology we should adapt. We don't want to shoot the arrow in the dark. You first need to have a strategy before you move, or else you will be firefighting. And that's what we're trying to avoid. So once for something to be sustainable as we move along. So this is what we are doing. On the metering side, yes, we've started that mass metering to meter people that are not existing, people that already applied. They are in the queue. Some are there for, some I understand, some are there for months.
Some
weeks.
people been there a lot of months.
So what the management actually mandated the team to do, those that have been in the backlog, deal with those. It's possible that they've applied, some of them have gotten. Once you call them, they've already gotten meter, just validate them. And then if they are doing vending or whatever the case may be. So what we are doing that, we're tackling those. It's part of our national.
Now, can we talk about a standardized price for these meters? Or we leave it with home to do what? People complain that they're paying 150 solid US bucks for the meter. Is there any long-range plan to
Yes,
think about it a little bit?
Yes, I agree. Part of our assessment to use best practices around the world. In many places, you don't pay for meters. You pay for connections. You tell you want to get connected, you apply. We want to come a period where you take yourself or you go to the app store, you download the app. You want to get connected, you register. Instead of spending days, you spend few minutes, you get, register, and they tell you how much your meter, the connection fee is, everything. You apply in matter of hours. They tell you when they will come to do your installation and so forth. So we are thinking about how we can standardize it. It becomes like connection. You pay for connection.
No meter.
No meter. So you pay us, we connect you, because in any case, the equipment is ours. So when we give it to you, we are connecting you, you buying token to put it on it. There may come a time it has fault. You can find it on the shelf somewhere else. No, it's uniquely identified with us. You bring it back, we change it and give it back to you. So we are thinking about things like that as we move on. Yeah.
Well, Mohammed M. Sharif is the acting managing director of the Liberia Electricity Corporation. He's our guest this morning. Final talking point before we open the lines for people to participate on the show. Let's talk about customer service and response mechanism. A lot of people complain about, why are they hanging right here? When you call the LEC people, they're supposed to come take 5 minutes, it will take weeks. LEC can't come. As a result, in some of the communities, people get into danger. Community kids will intentionally want to click on LEC poll because everybody wants this current. Let's talk about customer service and the response mechanism.
I agree. I completely agree. And that's what part of our strategic objectives as we come into this position. Having LEC that is operationally excellent, financially viable, and customer centric. And what that means is that you don't just have the generation available to give to people like we have in the rainy season now. I'm working with the team to clearly identify those typical tools, materials that need to be available, logistics, so that in the night when somebody called the hotline, they are available. Instead of having one vehicle for the entire Ghana's Vale or the entire Morovia, you divide it into zones. You have zonal teams with their respective logistics and the tools available, and we shift. Those that are there for 8 hours in a day, they are not the same folks available in the night with the necessary logistic. That's all about it. Once you can have them on shift and the necessary support and tools available to them, once you call them, they are available. And somebody also there checking on them, monitoring the hotline. What are the response mechanism? That's what we are doing. But what we are going to do in the long run, medium to long run, we want to have predictive maintenance as opposed to, reactive.
Yeah.
Every time you're reacting when something happens, somebody call you, something happens. But you want to know, sit in your office through your dashboard, you clearly see there's a fault on this transformer.
Yeah.
Beyond scheduled maintenance, you predict, and that comes with big data. We'll talk a smart grid.
Wow.
You understand? There where we are going, as I indicated to you, as we develop our digital strategy, from the strategy it tells you where we will put the sensors in our transformers in the various communities to identify what are the transformer, whether they're coming, problem with the transformer, the pattern, and we know how to predict this transformer or it's overloaded. We need to come down, take off some people, bring in another transformer in the community. So at the end of the day, you have that seamless, situation. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Sheriff. Now we can take 10 solid minutes to talk to hear from Liberians. I decided to do this sooner because I want Mr. Sheriff to be relaxed, and probably he would take the rest of the time to respond to you. He will take a pen and a paper. As you talk to him, he will write down your concerns. So please, if you call, do not beat around. Ask him your concerns and let him respond to you. I will encourage people to call on the main baselines 0777 700-995, 0555-995-995, 886-026-995. And let's hear Liberians calling. I know all the numbers will be blinking, but I'll pay some very keen attention to the online numbers. I mean the base numbers. Hello?
Good morning, Clarence. And let me say good morning to your studio guest.
Good morning.
For most on the land, Joe D'Souza, and I call from Joe community.
Yeah, D'Souza.
Clarence, I'd like to commend the managing director of LEC for the liberation and for the work that he has done over the short period of time that he took office. And quickly, I live in Joe community, and the power theft, the cause of power theft here is because of the shortness of meters and the LEC posts. So I can remember back then when I was youth leader of this place, I was youth president, there were several times we called on LEC, we knock at our doors, and there was no way for them to come in.
So what your concern?
My concern is the way the LEC boss or say in deliberation, let there be implementation.
Okay, Chief. Thank you. Let's go here. Hello.
Morning, Clarence.
Good morning.
Clarence, thank you. This is Gabriel calling from the Bujo Island. Clarence.
Yeah.
I think I think the managing director will be acting the miracle. I think when somebody acting in the country, they can perform. For me, I don't need confirmation. I want a man to be acting until otherwise, because he's performing seriously.
Okay, Chief. We hear you. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Straight to the point.
Good morning. Good morning, Clarence. My name is Martin, and I call from around the Pins Repair this morning.
Yeah, Martin.
So I listened to the LEC managing director. He struck some good points. But my concern is that in the community, there are LEC workers who connive with individuals to bypass the meter. And they do that very well, and they're giving electricity to people who bypassing the real thing that's supposed to be done. So I am thinking what kind of strategy he's putting into place to be able to mitigate that, because once you're trying to strive to change the situation, people will be connected, and you're watching everybody who is connected. The LEC workers too can also use the system to cheat, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hello?
Good morning, Mr. Clarence Jackson. Let me say good morning to the MD studio. Activist Mapping Render, and I do join you from a Luja office in.
Yeah, let's go straight to the point, Chief.
Yeah, so I let me inform the MD that he have a Luja letter in your office that we will be presenting a certificate to him from Luja who is performing. I hope that in fact he can confirm our letter, so to at least community dwellers from all around the country can assemble at the LEC office to present him a remarkable historic letter for his work. Because the market women all will be there, the young boys will be there, the Reba people will be there.
Okay, we hear you, yeah? We hear you. Hello?
Yeah, good morning, Clarence.
Good morning.
And let me say good morning to Mr. Sharif. This is John J. Backman.
All right, former
Let me first say congratulations on your preferment as acting head of that institution, because I worked with you when you were running the CLSG line in Grand Bassa County. And I saw how effective you were. But I have two concerns. One of my concerns has to do with your customer service. The customer service is very poor, and I believe it's not just with Liberia alone, but since we are talking about this sector, they need to improve their response mechanism. I got a resident way in Marshall. You got issue, you call them 1 hour street light, or that is a main intersection where criminals stay. Then they went on for almost 6 months. We have called, nobody has come to our attention. Now, let's go back to Grand Bassa County. We started a project that when you were with CLSG, that substations were completed, and then it is completed already, and current is in it. But the just a few days, the EU project that we all been running on, they still delayed. They started planning poor of late, they stopped again. So please look in that direction. The people of Grand Bassa County is very electricity too as well.
Okay, Janji.
So please reach out there, please, I beg you.
Thank you, Janji Bakbe, the former superintendent of Grand Bassa County. Let's take you right here. Hello?
Good morning, Clarence.
Yeah, good morning.
And good morning to the studio guest.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to ask my question is...
You didn't call your name, sir.
My name is Jeremiah K. Gwemini from the LC community.
Okay, Gwemini, let's hear you.
Yeah, my question is, what measures is the manager using that we have this stable current that all the managers have not been using that will be out of current for past time?
What is he doing now that others did not do? That's your question. Hello?
Yeah, hello, I'm Christopher Bala, I call for Banjo community.
Yeah, Banjo. Chris, let's hear you.
Yeah, anyway, we have a stable current in this community. We say congrats to the MD. But I have a few questions to ask the MD.
Go ahead.
He spoke about $4 billion US to be paid and to advocates of other countries for using this current within in Liberia. I really want to know the dam that was built, the current we're using, and the bill will pay. It is the money that will be used to pay. And one thing again, I want to know, he said sometimes advocates supply will come, sometimes we supply them will come. So I want to know if the government senator,
I don't know what he said. Sometimes we supply that. I think he's saying even we have the capacity, we can do it. Okay, let me take former Labor Minister Chief Moses Colley. Let's hear you.
Good morning, Clarence. Good morning to Mr. Sherry.
Good morning.
Firstly, I want to acknowledge his good work that he has started in his team. I must admit to you, Clarence, my experience since 1990 July, because I was living in Point 4. For the very first time, I have experienced electricity 24 hours for about almost a week. I live in Banasville, the security community. But my advice to
to the MD is that I think LEC can sustain itself if only he can focus on power theft. For example, I personally, I have a residential area. I spend not less than $300 per month. You can check my number out. But I have one concern, Mr. MD. I did a research in the Ivory Coast, electricity security. But in the Ivory Coast, the average payment for kilowatt per hour is 0.20 or 0.127. But in Liberia, when I use $50 and I will get 189.4 kilowatt, meaning I'm paying 0.26399, almost 0.264. That's times 2 of the average cost. What plan do you have in place? Because Liberians, not many Liberians will afford, but they need current.
Okay.
So that will be affordable.
Thank you. Affordability. Let me take the final call right here. Then we'll go back to Mr. Sherry. I have to give him time to respond. Hello?
Yeah, good morning, Clarence, and good morning to the people of Liberia.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, our acting managing director, Mr. Mohammed Sherry. This is Joseph Boy Cooper.
Yeah, boy, go straight.
A 90 days plan is very impressive. I would just want to give him a piece of advice. I would like for you to allow your plan to be much more inclusive. Could you create hub, electrification hub in the various community? All those boys who involved in connectivity of current from one home to another, you could bring them to the table, you try to hire them, and they will help to prevent the power theft until your digitalization regarding or monitoring the various communities can get into full swing.
Okay, thank you. We're not taking any more calls. Mr. Sharif, let's hear you. The concerns are many. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Clara, and thanks to the listeners out there. Yeah, I will tackle the first question regarding Kuhu within LEC, and yeah, I do sincerely agree with what the caller is saying. LEC has got the technicians and people out there bypassing meters. We certainly have to work with somebody within to be successful. So this is why we are putting in place a strategy. We've started actually identifying those folks internally to deal with them, and we send a message out to tell them we are coming for you. How we come for you, we're not going to tell you. But just know that if you are doing something like that, stop. You don't know how we work, but we will tell you our principle when it comes to these things. We cannot compromise my fishing. We don't compromise these things. Because the more you work with people out there to cheat the system, the less money we will get, the less we will pay attention to you, your benefit, your salary, so many things, and the less we will pay attention to providing the electricity the Liberian people deserve. So we are coming after them. We have a means of really getting them, and we have taken note, and going forward we're going to move aggressively on that front. Then the customer service, I agree. Yeah, this is why I said from the beginning of my when I started the conversation that one of our goals is to really improve the eroded confidence in LEC. And one of the ways of doing it, first, let people build that confidence to say LEC first is reliable. You understand? In fact, as a matter of fact, your light you are bringing is not even strong. You can't even stay for a few hours. Once you can stabilize that, you off the fire. People get used to it. They get to understand the importance of the electricity. Moving on. And we, at the level of the LEC folks, we are providing the needed support, the needed tools, and it's guidance we need to provide our customer service folks. Training we need to provide them. Sometimes there are folks that are committed to doing things, but sometimes they are not. Sometimes they are not trained to do it. We will provide those training and strategic guidance as the proceed to go and responding to our customers are indicated. One of the things we are doing is the issue of maintenance, the issue of registering meters. If you can directly download the app from your phone and register for your meter, and people call you and come to your house and register, that is another easy way that you can clearly understand the value, the utility that we can provide as an entity. Yeah. So, what did we do now that others did not do, and we are experiencing? And all what I just explained from the beginning when we took office, to provide the effective leadership that LEC needed to, and what that means is that access through the value chain from generation, transmission, distribution, and commercial to see the bottlenecks and pinpoint the areas of intervention. So we did that quickly to see what we could do to move aggressively. And one of the issues that we started tackling to optimize our generation quickly, to reduce the load shedding, while at the same time looking at our distribution line, some of the areas that we needed to fix, and domestically some of the areas that we needed to take quick decisions, to take those decisions, to put the team to work and to hold them accountable. So we did those things. The rest are in details, operational issues that we did. We cannot say everything here, but it was basically effective leadership that we apply, and not just effective but agile leadership, responding to changing circumstances. A team change, you change along with it, and you act quickly and you move on.
Okay. And somebody was particularly concerned about your long-term goal in terms of reducing the price per kilowatt.
Yeah, as I indicated from the beginning, usually if you were to talk about cost reflective tariff, that means what you put in to produce your generation. If we were to use all those in order to determine the tariff, what we are charging now is even lower than what's supposed to be charged. So this is what we are, as part of our long-term plan, is to come in with a generation mix that are cheaper to produce, so that at the end of the day, the tariff will be impacted positively to reduced. So one of such is the issue of bringing a gas turbine, as well as optimizing man coffee, because the generation completely different from when you're using heavy fuel oil and fuel oil to generate. And when you do that, you need to recover your cost. In some jurisdiction, will tell you, well, we use only hydro and we low shed, but for us, we say energy is a right. The president has said that, and we are on a marching order that the Liberian people deserve electricity yesterday, and therefore they should have reliable, affordable, and sustainable electricity. And in the long run, the whole goal is to cut the tariff through our energy mix that we'll embark on, that has, that have some inputs that are much more less expensive.
Okay. And I like the way you can refer to your team as the creme de la creme.
Yes, creme de la creme.
You will not have an effective LEC if the workforce is not happy.
Yes.
Sometimes I hear too much about salary disparity at LEC. Have you heard it? If you heard it, can you work on it?
Yeah, well, I've heard that. And I continue to tell them, I said, look, just do your work. Once you can do your work, the Liberian people are satisfied. They don't care about what we give you in terms of benefits, so long you can justify it through your results. It should be a function of the result, the performance that you do. Liberian people, they are magnanimous people. They are people that can really understand. Once you produce the result, the ready one, the electricity affordable, they don't care.
I know.
Yeah, they don't care about you delivery.
Okay, Mr. Sheriff Pra, thank you so much for coming. This is final, probably it could be the meat of the whole interview. What do you leave with the Liberian people? What's your message to all of us?
Yes, my message to the Liberian people, Clarence. Anyway, thank you, Clarence, for the opportunity to speak to the Liberian people, and happy to see you again after over 20 years.
More than 25 years.
More than 25 years. You and I, we used to be in the same plane and so forth.
Don't tell our secret.
Okay, no problem. So I'm happy to be here to speak to the Liberian people, and all I can say, we've come humble to really speak to them, to work in LEC to deliver for them what they need, reliable, affordable, and quality electricity. But what that means also is that they, the Liberian people, should also help. You see something, say something. That means if you are there, you have your electricity, you're paying for your token, and you see your neighbor is not doing so, report your neighbor.
You see something,
you say
something.
So that will help us, that will help all of us to really get the needed money, the needed funds to be able to pay for the power, because power is not free. What we bring, we pay for it. What we generate domestically, we pay for it. So I'm asking them that they help LEC while we for a power theft. They should also help us too.
Okay, Mr. Mohammed Sharif. He said, when you see something, say something. Don't sit there. The acting managing director of the Liberia Electricity Corporation. In the midst of all this, he says, this is not about me. It is about a team. Competent team working. Thanks to all of you. You heard from him. They're making strides to ensure sustainability in electricity. My name is Piso. I'll be back here tomorrow morning, man. Bye-bye. Thanks to all of you, man.